The Pittsburgh Steelers AFC North chances just got very strange, and a division that you came into the season thinking one way about feels completely different in so many ways. But they're here. They're 3-1. They have a chance to take a pretty significant lead in the division. And if they do, then everything is pretty golden. Their chances of walking away AFC North champs are pretty fantastic. And yeah, maybe one day Lamar Jackson comes back. Maybe one day Joe Burrow comes back. It still doesn't feel like the Steelers are close to losing this one. And the moves that have been made over the last 24 hours, the reactions to the drama and the nonsense and the losing that has occurred makes you think that this thing is only getting started, but it is getting weird. What's going on, everybody? I'm Noah Strackbine. Thank you for jumping on to another episode of Steelers to Go, your daily dose of Pittsburgh Steelers news and analysis. Find us on youtube.com/all Steelers talkers. Subscribe anywhere you get your podcast. Before we get going, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button on this video. We're on our way to 100,000, and I am very excited to do it. Over the last 24 hours, the AFC North was shaken up twice. The first one was a quarterback move that we all saw. Nobody saw coming. We were stunned by it. We reacted to it. Old man Joe's going from Cleveland to Cincinnati, right across the pond, to say, hey, what's up, guys? I'm going to try and save this season. Meanwhile, Shedeur Sanders got one step closer to facing the Pittsburgh Steelers. Dylan Gabriel is officially the guy, and Kenny Pickett's sitting around somewhere in Las Vegas going, I better get the start over Geno because, man, what I could have done in Cleveland. But it's Baltimore that shook us all up. It's Baltimore that gave us the, whoa, what is happening over there? What is happening in the team that everybody anticipated would be the leader of the AFC North, hands down, when everybody made their predictions, when everybody came into the season talking about what Aaron Rodgers and company can do in Pittsburgh this year in the AFC North. It was maybe they can win 10 games, but you might have to win 13 to beat the Ravens. You might have to win 12 if you're going to win the AFC North, but you got to get through Baltimore. You have to get through Baltimore if you're going to get through the AFC North. It's the only way you're going to win it. Right now, the team to go through is Pittsburgh. We talked about it the other day that their chances of winning the AFC North are almost unmatched right now. And it's early in the season, 13 games left, but you have an opportunity in the next 2 weeks to take a 3.5 and a 4.5 game lead on the rest of the division. And even if Aaron Rodgers or anything crazy happened, I trust Mason Rudolph and company to keep that lead. But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the moves that were made. We're talking about the Joe Flacco trade to the Cincinnati Bengals, and then the Baltimore Ravens, which, again, we could talk Joe Flacco all day. It's the Baltimore Ravens saying this season's over and starting to make panic moves and fire sales for no reason whatsoever. That's where the Baltimore Ravens are. They've lost their quarterback, but that's not the biggest problem with this team. It's not the fact that Cooper Rush can't score 40 points. It's the fact that Cooper Rush has to score 40 points in order to win a football game. It's the fact that this defense is so bad that they aren't giving their team any opportunity to win whatsoever. Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry, or not. So what do? They go out and they trade Owa Adafe to the Los Angeles Chargers in exchange for a safety that some of us know, some of us don't, but either way is not replacing Kyle Hamilton anytime soon. And I get it, Kyle Hamilton's banged up, Marlon Humphrey's banged up. You have lost everybody on that defense. But to trade a former first-round pick for a fifth-round pick and a safety that you are saying is going to be the answer here does not scream solution. It screams panic. Somehow the Baltimore Ravens have found themselves a sinking ship with John Harbaugh trying to swim maybe for his last time. And it just makes everything so much crazier because 48 hours ago, we came into Monday morning. The Pittsburgh Steelers won their bye week, looking good, sitting on top of the AFC North. Things are bad for Cleveland, Baltimore, and Cincinnati. But if you were going to guess what of the teams was going to turn it around at some point, it was going to be the team in Maryland that is allowing 40 points a game. Now, where we sit here today, as weird as things are, the Steelers' biggest threat, and we're all thinking the same thing as I say this, is Joe Flacco and the Cincinnati Bengals. Because you never know if Joey Flack is going to bring some spark to this offense and give Jamar Chase and T. Higgins exactly what they need. And don't get me wrong, realistically speaking, Joe Flacco is going to get sacked so many times that it's going to be hard for anything to happen ever. That the Cincinnati Bengals going after a 40-year-old quarterback who is not mobile, never has been mobile, and saying you need to survive an offensive line that got Joe Burrow killed within a week is just not sustainable. It's not a plan that seems to have any traction behind it. I don't know why Joe Flacco was the answer when Russell Wilson, Jameis Winston, even Kenny Pickett are sitting out there as viable options with much fresher legs, saying at least at bare minimum, we can run around a little bit and see if we can make something happen. Joe Flacco is just going to go, man, I hope I could get the ball out quick enough. But you know that they're the biggest threat to the Steelers right now. You know that there's a possibility that the Pittsburgh Steelers go to Cincinnati next week, and in the jungle, they lose to Joe Flacco and the Bengals in what is a ridiculous game where everybody's going to say, is Joe Flacco back? Is this the beginning of Joe Flacco? Are the Cincinnati Bengals alive once again? They're not. Let's be honest. They're not. But you know the overreactions will come. You know it'll all happen. But that's what the NFL is dudes making changes. Quarterback changes lead to sparks. Coaching changes lead to sparks. And you get those spark games and you win those spark games. That's what happens. My money's still on the Pittsburgh Steelers to win that game. That's not going to change. But my money is not on the Baltimore Ravens to walk away winners in the AFC North. And as we sit here today, they remain the favorites to win the AFC North, which is just bananas to me. That everybody and their mother believes that that's going to happen when there's almost a no % chance that it's gonna, because Lamar Jackson does not save this team. Maybe Joe Flacco saves the Bengals, and that's so funny to say out loud. Things are getting crazy, but for the Pittsburgh Steelers, it's very simple. What's up, AST Nation? I've teamed up with DraftKings. The next great touchdown is coming. You can bet on it. And the best way to do so is through DraftKings Sportsbook, where new customers who bet $5 get $200 in bonus bets if your bet wins. With the bye week behind us, now is the time to get in on the action. Love the thrill of live betting? DraftKings has got you covered. Bet live on in-progress games right as they happen. Then use your bonus bets to stay in on the action and bet DraftKings same-game parlays for a shot at an even bigger payout. And don't worry, if sports betting is not yet available in your state, you're fine. You can still join in on all of the fun with DraftKings Daily Fantasy Sports and have the shot to win cash prizes. New customers who bet $5 get $200 in bonus bets if your bet wins. Sign up using my promo code ALLSteelers and get in on the action only at DraftKings Sportsbook. You just stay the course. You just keep things calm. You keep winning. You win the AFC North games. You don't worry about all the crazy chaos out there, and you don't overlook any of these guys, just like you wouldn't beforehand. You don't ever overlook the Cleveland Browns. You don't ever overlook the Cincinnati Bengals, and you don't ever overlook the Baltimore Ravens. Ever. And even if John Harbaugh might be in his last season with this team, even if Joe Flacco is not Joe Burrow and they just still don't look good, you don't overlook the Cincinnati Bengals. And even if Dylan Gabriel's coming to Acrisure Stadium this week and you still don't really know who Dylan Gabriel is, you don't overlook the Cleveland Browns, because that's the AFC North. anything could happen at any time, and that's what this season is showing us, that things are still crazy. But as funny as it is, as dramatic as it has been, you would never think that the Steelers, a dramatic football team, a team that waited 3 months for Aaron Rodgers, a team that traded their top wide receiver and then went and got another top wide receiver, a team that passed on Shedeur Sanders even after bringing Shedeur Sanders in and everybody making all the hoopla about Shedeur Sanders being the next quarterback of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Even after all of that happened, after the Russell Wilson era, after the Kenny Pickett nonsense, after the Justin Fields benching, after all of it, you never, ever, ever would have thought that the Baltimore Ravens right now are the most dramatic team in the AFC North. And that somehow, some way, the Cincinnati Bengals, without Joe Burrow, but with Joe Flacco nearly completing the cycle, are the biggest threat to them. It's wild times, strange times in the AFC North. It's fun times in the AFC North because this is good times in the AFC North. All right. With that said, guys, I'm heading out of here. Thank you so much for jumping on to another episode of Steelers to Go, your daily dose of Pittsburgh Steelers news and analysis. Make sure to subscribe to us on YouTube, youtube.com/All Steelers Talk. Check us out anywhere you get your podcasts. And as always, find all of our work at si.com/NFL/Steelers. With that said, I'll be back later for the flagship show. Until then, enjoy another beautiful day in the Berg. Peace.